Hello!
It's Bethcie
And Zoe!
and today we're talking about our
Funniest moments.
So we're going to talk about awkward stuff, but then we thought the stuff we came up with seemed a bit more funny than awkward.
You'll understand in a minute.
Yeah, some of it was kind of a bit of owning people and stealing
I'm proud.
and being thug life children.
Yeah, you'll soon know us more than you ever thought you would.
The ownage incident.
This was when, it was 2 years ago in the summer, we were walking back from school.
Yeah.
And there's a school down our road, closer to us than the school we actually went to.
Another secondary school, so
Yeah.
more teenagers.
Yeah, and they were younger than us, and they were the sort of age who thought they were really hard nuts.
Yeah.
So, we were in our school uniform, as we hadn't finished school, and we had to wear it, of course.
And there was this group, and they were like, was it mainly boys?
There was two boys and one girl, I think.
And they go by us, and they casually say, Larkmead's gay, because obviously we're wearing Larkmead uniform, and they're
being twats, as they do.
And they're not from our school, so they say that.
And, yeah, so within that split second, I did not think about it, I didn't hesitate. My response was, so's your mum. We just instantly burst into laughter all the way home.
We were too busy laughing, we didn't look round at their reactions, we didn't.
we're the kind of people who insult people, but just like, oh shit, afterwards.
When a friend had to sit on another, well, no, not even Do they like each other? They don't really like, no.
We'll name one of them. Basically, me and this boy in my band called Owen, hello, we went to do this open mic in Abingdon, and this other lad came along with us, and we were having this group shot, but we all needed to get closer together. So I sat on Zoe
because we all couldn't fit in the pictures. Because I was like, Beth was like, oh, what do I do? I was like, Beth, sit on my lap.
I was like, do I crouch in front of everyone?
She's a bit reluctant, and I was like, Beth, we've been besties for 9 years. Come here and love me.
So I sat on Zoe. And then, obviously, the two boys, as well as my little brother, needed to move in as well. So I turned to Owen, and
being aware they've only known each other for a year, and they don't really work together or talk to each other. It's the fact that they both talk to Beth rather than to each other. That's kind of how it works.
So, yeah, I then told Owen to sit on this lad, and he did.
This is
Year 9.
We were running around school at 7 o'clock at night. Now, yes, you may wonder why 7 o'clock at night, but there was, what was it that was going on? Awards
yeah, it was an award ceremony thing.
For our year or something. We didn't get anything anyway, so it was pretty pointless. And parents were allowed to go. And we had decided from before we even got there that, because there were people we were trying to avoid, especially anyway, or at least that I was.
Yeah, I was.
And we decided, well, our parents and family and stuff can go, but we won't actually go even though it's for us, which obviously makes no sense, but we're not social. No. We've got each other, and that's as far as it goes.
Very small social circle, guys.
And, so we decided we'd go run around. So we went...
The only time we exercise, mate.
Yeah. So we started off in the toilets. There is a video somewhere of us in the toilets. I don't know if
Link here.
Yeah. I don't know whether is it on this
channel
or is it on our old channel?
I think it's on our old
It
channel.
might be on our old channel, so half of you might not have seen it. Probably most of you haven't seen it, actually.
But
after the
Link
40th
here.
subscriber, you probably haven't. And then, so we went in the toilets, and to be fair, they stunk of shit.
Yeah.
In quite honesty. So we decided, no, we didn't just, because we were there from I don't know whether it was 7 till 9 or it was a good 2-3 hours, and we were like that. And they had biscuits and all these lot out on the tables, and our aim was the moment they put food out, grab the food and run.
Foodies for life.
But yeah, so it kind of wasn't ready, so we kind of went round, we went outside. So we're walking along, and of course you were oblivious, weren't you, Beth?
Yeah, quite.
I'll let you talk now, I speak too much.
Well, yeah, I was just kind of not really paying much attention. And almost got caught. My stealth mode at this point was not great. It's improved now.
Because the room where it was going on, we decided to go up near the room from the outside. I don't know really why. We just kind of did for the hell of it. It was near the playground, and we were just kind of like wandering around. And then I didn't go quite next to the building because I didn't dare, but Beth did. She was like, "You're on your phone or something." And then we realised there were these big gaps where you could actually see in and people could see out. And then Beth realised that she stood between two gaps, like in front of a curtain, that if she just hung around there, that every parent could probably just see her stalking this assembly from the outside.
Yep.
And so she, in quotes, was like, "Walk, walk, 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 walk," and then we kind of just went back.
I remember saying that.
Mixed food, and then left. A football incident.
Ooh. Yeah. Usually, when we were younger, we'd take out a football and we'd just kick it up and down the road. Usually have her oldest younger sister stood on the other end by the main road.
It would always be 2 against 1.
Yeah.
It wasn't very nice, but...
No, it's always us against Emma.
Yes, we'd always do it in the middle of the road, and if a car was coming, obviously we'd kind of wait till the last minute, shout the other person after we'd kind of kick the ball behind them and run out of the middle of the road. That's kind of how we did.
Yeah.
Thug life.
And then one time, we were outside with some other neighbours who came out and joined us, I think. And they kicked the football into my neighbour's garden, but it hit the car. Now, at this given time when the ball hit the car, my neighbour happened to be stood in the window on the phone watching. Yeah, like...
Or it was that they were there and then they started ringing.
Yeah, or something. Like they were there, or then they got on the phone, I can't remember.
So they
but
picked
then
up the phone and then we were freaking out.
Shit, you know what, 5 minutes later, a police car came past. We have never ran and hid faster in our lives. We just pegged it.
You can't imagine how suspicious it looks. 2 teenagers with a football running from a police car to hide. But that's what we did.
We've been on a run from the police guys.
We could have looked casual.
We could have just sort of sat on the floor and looked normal.
No. Trespassing incidents and stealths where we didn't get in trouble.
Until, well, just slightly.
Yeah. Well, the first one, there's, opposite my house, there is an old people's home. And we used to like to run round the outside of it because you could easily get round. And when we kind of got to the courtyard bit where it was all open and where all the old people would see us, we'd kind of stop and just go back round because we wouldn't really dare run through it. I think we ran through it once, and after that we kind of got scared and gave up. Or I was kind of like, come on, you were there like, you've been serious. I was like, maybe. And yeah, like, so we'd go around and we'd just see them all, obviously in their rooms, watching their TVs and stuff, and we kind of hits us now, but back then it wouldn't surprise us if we got caught if they just, rang the police, and we would have probably got in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we didn't get caught for that.
No, we didn't. We were like with Jake and that lot, a few neighbours down the way, I think, because we had Josh Pitts and all that with us. It wasn't just us. I think we had like 2 other people with us. I think it might have been your siblings. I don't know.
Oh. The one time I remember it, I just remember it being just you and me and possibly my sister.
Well, then it might have been that. But I remember I ran into a spider's web and I thought, fuck that shit.
Yeah. And then, that day it creeped me out because I got home, I had a bath, and I kid you not, there was this fat, big spider thing in the bottom of the bathtub. Oh, no. Creeped me out. Picked up the spit and what was it? Realised it was a spider leg. Oh my god! I was out of that bath quicker than you could say spider. I was, nope.
I'd have cried so much the bath would have overflowed within 2 minutes.
Oh, no, that creeped me out. No. And then my family was there like, why aren't you getting in the bath? I was like, you look in the bath. And then...
Oh dear.
And then there was the actual trespassing incidents where we actually got caught. No police or anything. Just so you know, we haven't got a criminal record yet.
No, we've always managed to just get off with that.
Yeah.
No, but this time we did get caught. Well, 3 times.
More than one occasion. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, where we live on this block, there's 2 houses that have ponds. So we kind of stole fish.
Yeah, we kind of decided that we wanted some sort of water pets of our own. At the time, my mum was scared to death of fish, and we weren't having fish for anything. You already had fish, but we were just really entertained at the fact of holding fish.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, well, normal children. Yeah, so we kind of would go into their gardens with our nets and our jars of water. Well, our jars. We'd scoop out some water and we'd kind of just fish out their fish from their ponds. And yeah, there was one person, we took about 3 or 4 fish and we kept them under a tub under one of my parked cars on the drive that never moves. Trust me, there was enough cars and choice of places to hide fish.
It's like a multi-storey car park.
Yeah. So yeah, we got away with those for a while, like, because it was strange, because whenever we got caught in the garden, either they were oblivious to the fact that we had these jars of fish all stacked along their wall, or they just didn't say anything. But I mean, they were pretty angry, so you would have thought if they noticed that their fish were in jars stacked along the wall, they would have just been like, give me my fish. But they never seemed to notice that we nicked them.
They just be like, get out my garden. And
yeah,
it's like, okay.
Yeah. And it's funny because one of the gardens, I swear I haven't seen any fish in there since we fished.
No.
I think we took them all. I don't think they know that because the pond's green and you can't see if there's anything. It's only by like a metre by like half a metre. It's really a little thing. And then
like
the other
puddle,
garden,
but deep.
It was like what was in there? Newts and stuff, and we were really entertained by newts and frogs.
Mhm.
Yeah, proper nature.
We really wanted a frog. That was our thing.
And we did, and we had it in this tall jar, but we kind of didn't give it anything to stand on, so it was forever swimming and just died in one day, and we were like, oh, why has it died? We didn't get it. When it obviously had no food and obviously had nowhere to stand on.
I did try and nick the fish food from in my house without my mum seeing. But that's another thing. One day we were sat outside in my archway. My mum opened the door and saw fish and this frog. And so like, oh. Because
we'd kind of just put the lid on, we're literally halfway to pushing it back under. I don't remember why we were keeping it there because... Oh, was it just for the fish food? Because
yeah,
I don't know, because it's a bit weird. Because obviously we knew it was safer near mine, but for some reason we kept it near. I don't know. We were children, and yeah, we were literally just halfway pushing the tub under, and then Mum opens the door, and she's like, "What's that tub?" And we're like, "Oh, no, nothing." And she's like, "Open the tub," and we're just there like, "Are you being serious?" Oh my god, scariest day of our lives, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so we got out the tub. And we opened this tub with these 3 little fish all swimming around. And I don't remember what she said. She probably said something along the where did these come from?
Yeah, she's like, where did you get them from? Why did you have them? So this is where she quiets down and I step up.
Yeah, I've made this ultimate lie within about 3 seconds.
This is a good thing with me. If I need to make up a lie like that, I can do it. So I did, and I said, oh, they were outside the old people's home, just in this tub, and we were feeding them. We didn't want them to die. And then my mum bought it. If she sees this video, crap.
my dad already knows.
Well, it's a bit late now, like you say. It was when we were 10, so that's like 7 years ago.
It was a good. It wasn't recently.
It's a good 7 years ago.
We were kind of thinking, if we ever tell the truth, we'll make sure it's years and years from now. And yeah.
This is our confession. At school, especially when I joined her secondary school, as soon as I joined, we were always in a detention of some sort. And there was this one where...
Your fault.
Yeah, it's mainly always my fault as well, but...
If we went down together.
That's the thing. We go down together. That's what friends do.
Yeah, my dad was never happy, but...
No, I could be making you do drugs. I'm keeping you at school. You shouldn't be complaining. But yeah, this one after school... It was with our tutor, and
because we were late, like every day of the week, like every morning we were late, so we were meant to be in the room by 9:15. By about maybe 5 to we were in. It wasn't that late.
Only a couple minutes off.
It was, but it was late enough for her to just be...
One time, the door had shut, and 5 seconds after we'd opened it, you're late.
We were just there like, everyone is still sitting down, could you just... Please.
And she hated us.
That was the other thing. She was never on time herself. She would always be 5 or 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
So if we were late, it's like, well, you're never on time. But unfortunately, we couldn't exactly just go to a, well, you're never on time because...
I mean, I could have done.
We wouldn't be in school.
I could have done, but...
Yeah, but I don't
because there's one point where we almost got kicked out of our tutor. But you'll find that out in a minute.
Yeah, we were looking forward to it. We were loving life.
Yeah, but no. So this after school, she was there going, right, okay, and she handed me a staple gun and a chair, and
for some reason trusted Beth with this staple gun, even though she should have known that we absolutely hated her when she'd just given Beth the staple gun.
I was the more violent of us two as well, so it didn't make much sense.
But I understand the reason for the chair.
Yeah, the chair. I understand that. Okay.
We got that
a man at the cinema like 2 months ago asked if I wanted a booster seat. Now. Yeah. So she gives us this staple gun and me this chair, and she opens up a load of these like things. You put all these like pictures and posters.
It was a display board basically, and it had this glass case. I don't know why, just so stuff couldn't get torn down or something. None of our school could really be trusted, to be fair.
No.
And we undid it at the bottom. I don't know why we couldn't just do it or undo it all the way around and just take it off like a like a window. You take a window out.
Because the thing if you were to open it, it'd open like that.
Yeah, because they
not sideways.
For some reason, they only let us open the bottom, so I had to hold it up like that. I was stood for like forever while Beth was stood on this chair, bless her, because she's so short, with this staple gun. Well, first of all, we had to take everything down off the thing, and that wasn't too bad. I nicked this Warhorse poster because I was like, oh, well, what are you doing with any of this? And she was like, oh, it can all go in the bin. I was like, Mum, I'm nicking the poster, and it's still on my wall. Yes. And, yeah, so I was forever holding that up because I don't understand, because I think the top bit was the same as the bottom, so we could have just taken it all off and then I could have helped.
She didn't trust us with the key. She gave me a fucking staple gun though.
We got a free poster, we were talking, loving life. I was trying not to hit Beth on the head because my arms were dying. I was thinking, if I drop this, Beth gets crushed against the display board because I'm holding it up, like it's at that angle, there's the wall, and Beth's in between, so I just can't, if I'd let go, it would have gone. She would have just been sandwiched.
Yeah, and I probably would have staple gunned myself to the bloody display. Teacher would have liked that.
Or the glass would have hit your head, you would have just gone straight to the staple gun.
I could have got a nosebleed or something.
Yeah.
Violent time. But another time was with our tutor where...
So the same person as this hilarious after school.
Yeah, this is where we almost got kicked out of our tutor. We were walking to school and she was stood welcoming everyone in or whatever.
Because different teachers have a certain day where they have to stand out there and just, I don't even know why, because like there's a lollipop
they
man
don't
for
trust
the road,
anyone,
so it's not like they're helping people across the road because they got lollipop. But she was there and we made eye contact. Carry on.
Yeah.
You're loving this bit.
And she goes, hello, and obviously we're in mid-conversation. Don't ask me about what. Can't remember.
Obviously, me and Beth just talk till
yeah.
we're then. So
we were just sort of talking and walking on our way in. But because we were talking, we didn't say hello.
No.
Now,
yes, to be fair, it is a little bit rude, but
we were in a conversation.
Yeah, and she kind of knows we don't like her. And
she knew we didn't like her. We made it clear.
Yeah, and she doesn't like us.
Well, she was definitely clear after this incident. Yeah, so when the bell went, we were on time for tutor. She was late as usual. She then...
because she said hello, and obviously we didn't say anything. When we walked in, and it was just as normal. She stayed out there, and we went and joined our friends. So it was all normal from there.
The bell went, so we then went to our tutor. On time. Teacher was late.
Normal. We're on time.
Yeah, we were on time. We were on.
Oh my god.
Goddamn time we were on. And this is what happens. She didn't even reward us for being on time. No. She came in, she opened the door, she goes, everyone can come in, looked at us two, glared and went, you two can stay out here.
Now, being aware there was a load of dickheads in our tutor who obviously think they're all like
hard nut,
and then, they get told off a lot, but they almost kind of are alright with that, and then they kind of, they're like, oh, we're popular, getting told off is the thing. So when it was like, right, Beth and Zoe stay outside, and all the boys look around like, Beth and what have they done? Like, and they're really confused because 1, we weren't late.
Yeah.
2, we were stood there nicely, and 3, she was late, and everything was normal. So they were really confused because obviously we were looking at each other, trying not to smile because we knew what it was about. But they'd obviously thought we'd like ended the world or killed someone. The way she said it, Zoe and Beth, stay outside, I need a word with you. And they all just looked like shit. Yeah, we killed a man.
Yeah. But yeah, so everyone else went in, sort of looking at us like, oh shit, what have you done? And then we're still outside. And she was there going, why didn't you say hello to me this morning? That is really, really rude. And obviously she quiets down, and me being the loudmouth out of the two of us goes, oh, we were in our own conversation. It'd been rude if I just ignored her and started talking to you.
We were proper teenager, eh? Beth was proper there like, oh, well, we were in a mid-conversation. So, and she wasn't happy.
No.
To be fair, we were trying not to laugh as well. I was kind of stood there like, and you were trying not to laugh. And what was it? Oh, yeah, she's like, oh, why do you think it's funny? Why are you smiling? It was all that kind of thing. But we just found it funny just because of what we were getting told off for, how pointless it was. Hello. So... and then she was like, okay, come in. Obviously, we went in and we sat down. We just looked at each other because you got to your seat, I got to mine. We just looked at each other like, yeah, bitch. And all the boys were still really confused.
Because I sat next to the hardest nut of the school, and it was quite funny.
We don't sit next to each other either. I'm sat on always sat on a table of smokers, and Beth sits with her best friend. Yeah. And it was alright, apart from the fact that whenever, say, we used to mouth words across the room, it'd be the fact that half the time, he was pretty good at lip reading, so he'd be like, oh, Zoe, why did you just say blah-de-blah? And Beth and me would look at each other and do exactly that. We'd be like, oh my god, Tom, shut up. Getting caught being taught to swear incident.
Yeah.
So this was primary school.
About year 4?
Yeah, year 4 or so. So as you can imagine, most kids don't know swear words by that point. This special kid already knew all of them. Yes, your bad influence. And she was trying to explain to me the word shit, which obviously... compose myself. Which obviously I use quite a lot now. But at the time... no idea, a swear word, it's like, what's a swear word? You just want to know everything. It's like, what is it? And me being the oldest sibling in my family as well, I obviously don't know from anybody older than me, whereas she's got an older brother, so it's kind of like where she got it from. And we were stood outside by this preschool garden, which is kind of bad enough as it is, because we're stood by 3 to 4 year olds while learning to swear.
Yep.
So she was trying to explain to me shit, but rather than just saying shit, Beth was there, say sugar, honey, iced tea, back in the day. And obviously because I know what obviously the separate words of sugar, honey, ice and tea are, but I was really confused as to why saying them, and in that order, meant anything. But I repeated it, and she's like, see, you just sworn. And I was just there like, I've done what? What? I was really confused. And
she was.
Yeah. And obviously, my mum works in the preschool, and she knows all of the ones that work in the preschool, and she has friends. I don't know who it was and how nearby they were stood, but they obviously heard this conversation of saying sugar honey, I see sugar honey, what if I just say, oh, you just saw it? Yeah, they heard this entire thing. And so obviously, when I got home, my mum had a complete fit of me, and they're like, oh, why were you teaching as well? What has Beth done?
What has Beth done?
Yeah, I can't quite remember how the conversation went, but it's basically getting told off, and at the time when you're in year 4 and you believe everything, you're quite gullible, and it was kind of like, oh, and I was like, how would you know? And she's kind of like, oh, I have spies, and at the time it's like, I don't have spies. Do you know how cool that is? How scary that is? It was quite funny, and obviously I think I told you, and you were like, oh, spies, what spies? we were both kind of like proper, yeah, it's quite funny.
The dumb shits we were.
But it's actually just a teaching moment.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have done it there. We should have gone to a corner of the field, but we didn't do that.
No, just plain in the open. Year 4. Say sugar honey iced tea. Quote trademarked. Mine.
Yeah. So Lollipop Men.
Oh yeah.
We were friends with all the Lollipop Men. There was how many did we have?
There was 4.
About 4, yeah. There was one that we never learned the name of. The
no, he was the first one.
He never talked to us.
No.
But then he wasn't one. If he was new and just there, we would have started, but we didn't. So yeah, there was him.
Craig.
Oh yeah, Craig. Bless him.
Dylan.
Oh,
what's the tall guy?
Steve.
Now,
but just so you know, they're not called Dylan and Steve. But we named them, I guess that one's called Dylan. Oh, I guess that one's called Steve.
I named Dylan.
Yeah, I named Steve.
So Craig was actually called Craig. We called him George. FYI.
Oh yeah, that was it. And then for some reason we actually properly started calling him Craig. I don't know why. The others we never really remembered or learned their names. No, so we just forever stuck to...
So you're Steve.
Yeah.
They responded though. It was brilliant.
It's quite funny. Yeah, so the first one, obviously, we never got to know him, and so for however many years he was there, he came and went. And obviously, we only got to know him because me and Beth are besties, and we're quite outgoing when we're together, but not quite as outgoing apart, or I'm not anyway. So it was only...
You might not be, I'm quite outgoing.
Yeah, I am with you, especially when we've got our awkward moments and our... we're hilarious together, we're funny. We end the world together, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
So the first one, he went, and then, so Beth didn't join until year 9, so it was only 3 years that we had 4 lollipop men, so that was quite a lot. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3, yeah. Or halfway through, 2.5, whatever. So this first one, he came and he went, he was quiet, he didn't say a word, he didn't even say hi, good morning, nothing.
No.
Saying that was our bloody tutor and everyone else's job. Hello! Fuck off! No. And then it was it Craig?
Yeah, Craig.
And so we were coming down the road and we were like, oh, it's a new lollipop man. And for some reason, I don't know why, but we just decided, let's talk to them and see what kind of happens. So we went, and he obviously crossed us across the road. We're like, what's your name? Are you George? Is your name George? And obviously he was really confused. And he just looked at us. He was like, I'm called Craig. And we're just like, hi Craig, hi! And obviously...
Yeah, not subtle at all, just out there.
Yeah, and then every day then, from when we left school to when we went to school, left school, apart from when we were in detentions, which was
near enough every day.
Yeah, a fair amount. We just talk and we'd, say, oh, how's your day been, all the rest of it. And he was he'd tell us personal things eventually, like the fact that his wife was having a baby and all the rest of it. And we were like, there's gonna be a mini George! That's kind of how it went. So yeah. And then he went, but just before he went, Steve died, which we don't know what his real name is, but we'll go with it. We called him Steve. He probably told us our real name because we were like, you Steve, and he was like, no, I'm bleh. And so then we had Steve and Craig, because obviously Craig was leaving, but just before he did, because maybe it was his wife going on maternity leave, and maybe he was. It might have been something to do with that.
Craig got a new job.
That was it, and we're all there like, you've been serious, you can't leave. But so Steve joined, and obviously he soon got to know us, especially when George was the one teaching him, and therefore we were like, oh, okay, well we'll get to know him, and obviously he talked to us, and then Steve did, and then got a little family. So then George left. We had Steve. And we didn't talk to Steve as much as we did George, but we still talked to him.
Steve was cool.
Amount. Yeah, he was cool.
Because Steve let us nick the lollipop stick from the cupboard to make a goodbye thing for Craig.
That was it. Because it said stop.
Stop, Craig! We put it over the lollipop stick.
I think the actual thing just says stop, and then there was a blank bit. So then we just printed out
Craig,
like really big. Yeah, stuck it, and then I found my sister who happened to be walking around, and I was like, Emma, you need to take a picture. She was like, what? And because bless him, Steve let us left the cupboard unlocked on purpose so that we could nick the lollipop stick.
Because we asked him if we could do it.
Because we knew him so well. So we did that, and we've got that picture stuck on our walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got one of them as well, and we wrote our names on it.
Yeah. And we'll add it. Dylan, that's it. Was he the last?
Yeah, he was the last.
Yeah. We don't know if he's still there, to be fair. I'll have to ask Emma, but then she'll be like, who's Dylan? She won't know, so I wouldn't bother. Yeah, and he got on well with us, just like the other guys, and that was fun. And then we were there like,
but it was the sad part where we were leaving before he was. It was really sad because no one spoke to them besides us.
Yeah, everywhere else just would chat to their friends across the road, whereas
we'd be like, oh, we get to talk to Craig, George.
But highlights of the morning. It's probably half the reason we were late half the time.
Yeah, because if we were late, Steve would wait for us, and so would George, and so would Dylan. They'd just sit and wait.
Or sometimes we'd be going down the road and we'd just see them going in as if they just waited and we were just a bit too late. We were just there like...
That was really sad.
Yeah, and it also meant crossing the road was a bitch because there's this blind hill, and
It's not fun.
No. 35 minutes.
Shit.
Yeah, so sorry it's been ages since we've done a video. We've obviously had college and stuff, but now this is some of the holidays and we're probably going to be bored as shit.
Oh, also...
Apart from...
Yeah. This summer, we might be around a bit more on YouTube because we're doing NCS and I might be able to film it.
And if anything, we can just kind of have a talk at the end of each week and be like, this week, guys, we fell face first into a rock or something like that. No, not going to have internet, that'll be fun. And until it dies. You got 5 days to survive.
Shit.
You just didn't think that through, did you? You've only just...
But yes, we will see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably be more tanned when I come back though, so that could be an experience. Let's hope I don't come back like Dan Howell. Right, bye!
And she was trying to explain to me the word shit, which obviously... compose myself.